Okay. Hello, everybody. If anybody is online right now, can you just make sure that you can hear me? Just give me a nod in the comments. We can continue from there. Dial is moving up, so it does look like everybody should be able to hear me. Hi, Peggy. Welcome to the stream again. Nice to see you again on a lovely regular on all of my streams. Okay, so let's get this started. So tonight we have another 3 games. We have a game called Curve Space, a game called Faerie Afterlight, and a game called The Fabled Woods. The Fabled Woods was supposed to be on last week's stream. However, the demo was taken off Steam before I actually got a chance to download it. But this time the developers very kindly sent me over a pre-build so that we can get that tested and played on today's stream. Curved Space, the developers very kindly reached out to me on Twitter and sent me a code for the full game, so it will be the full game that I'm playing. However, obviously we'll just play a couple of levels of that and see how we get on. We will have this week. We're going to have a spotlight after the games as well, because there's a lot of games coming out that are on things like Kickstarter and things coming out for Halloween and all that kind of thing. And I just want to highlight some of the indie games that are going to be coming out. So just to give them a little bit more of a promotion. So I think the first thing that we can do is we can jump into our first game. Let's go into, I think we'll go into Fabled Woods first. That seems like a good game to play first. So let's take a look at what Fabled Woods is. Okay, take a look. So, Fabled Woods. Welcome to the Fabled Woods, a dark and mysterious narrative short story. Despite the picturesque beauty, ugly and terrible secrets lurk among the shifting boughs, a darkness that no amount of dappled sunlight can erase. Take the first step and experience an unforgettable journey. So, that's set the stage for it. So, let's jump into it, give it a go. Now, can I use controller? It appears I can. Let's jump into full screen. Cyberpunch, these are the guys that very kindly sent me over a pre-build. The demo isn't live on Steam right now, but I believe it is coming out on Steam again in the next couple of weeks.
What a surprise. Not a lot of folks come and visit these parts, especially in light of everything that's happened here. My name's Larry. I was here in search of my son, William. He went missing years ago while camping at the cabin we had built together when he was a boy. Explore these woods like I once did.
And I've noticed a little bit of lag on the machine here, so I'm just going to try something out. 1 second. I'm going to put the resolution down a little bit.
Please listen, so that we all may rest.
Any better? No, I don't think it's actually done it.
Oh man, straight like that, got no
Oh.
shame.
Let's have a look. I didn't apply it, that's why. Silly me. All right, let's give that a go. And I believe that might actually be a bit better. Let's go ahead and play through this. Peggy cannot see the game. Okay, I'm going to drop the... For some reason, this game is using a lot of power here. Take a look. Right, let's see. Hopefully that's a bit better. Doesn't look like it is. So bear with me 1 second. Let me just try and get the settings correct on this because it doesn't like to be streamed for some reason. Let's try that. Okay. So I'm going to quit to desktop and I'm going to try and open this again because it's having a few issues here. Second. It's been a couple of weeks of issues, this. All right, this seems to be a bit better. There we go. That seems to be working better now.
Visitor.
Hopefully everybody can see this okay now. I'm going to move my chat down to the side.
Hello there. What a surprise. Not a lot of folks come and visit these parts, especially in light of everything that's happened here. My name's Larry. I was here in search of my son, William. He went missing years ago while camping at the cabin we had built together when he was a boy. Explore these woods like I once did. I must warn you, however, there are things you may discover that will be difficult or strange to hear.
Okay.
Please listen so that we all may rest.
Yeah, that seems to be working much better on the stream now. I had to switch it from my secondary screen to my primary. Can I do? Can I jump? Nope. Okay, so I can just walk right now. Peggy says the scenery looks familiar. Okay. It may be that it's using some kind of foliage generator, which may be available on individual asset stores for Unity or Unreal. Yeah, quality of the foliage is quite good actually. It's quite nice. The rocks look very nice up close. Yeah, nice. Okay, let's take a look at the scenery. Some lovely scenery over yonder. Some lovely birds up in the sky as well. The water, particle effects in the water, or the shader that's being used for the water, it's okay. I'd expect to see a few more marks across the rocks up here where the water's coming down, just to show that the water's moving through the rocks a little bit more. The same as we've got from the logs, etc. here. But it's decent. And it's worth bearing in mind that all these games that we play on these streams are demos. They're nowhere near final products. Lovely butterflies. Lovely.
So happy we decided to go camping. It's so peaceful in the woods.
It is peaceful in the woods. Somehow, I think it's not going to be peaceful in these woods. Okay. Can't actually do anything with that, but twist it around. Doesn't look like anything else is selectable there. Nice looking tent. Fit in place with the rest of the scenery. Looks very nice. It's a nice little area, this, actually. There's nothing interactable here at the moment. At least I can see. Some blood on a campfire. Oh.
What are you doing? Let go of him! Leave us alone! Stop! Stop!
Oh dear. Sounds like something terrible has happened. Don't seem to be able to interact with anything else. Let's continue around. Suspenseful. Pretty cool.
Why did you do this?
Journey through the mind, it would seem.
Where's William? What did you do with him?
Named a character after me. Nice, thanks.
I just wanted to find my son.
Cool. How did I get here? One thing I'm noticing, you may not be able to notice it while watching the stream. But one thing I'm noticing is the audio from the stream here is panning from left to right. However, it gets to a point where it just kind of cuts off and then switches over to the other. So the audio spacing might need a little bit of work there. Listen here. If that audio just happened again, just switched around. It may have been that the actual soundbite of the stream isn't looped correctly, and it just kind of cut off at that point. Yeah, and I'm just moving backwards and forwards, and the audio doesn't follow me around the water as I would expect it to. So just a little tip there, just to have a little play around with the audio, because you're trying to generate this kind of experience here of narrative storytelling. And I think audio plays a very big part in that.
Fire brings people together out here. You understand. When the chores around the cabin were done, William would always beg to get a fire going by the river. Of course, it always started out as a much larger fire than we needed for our little pit. Nothing to distract you. No worries, guilt. We were at peace with the world.
Who doesn't like a fire camping? I know I do. Well, doesn't look like you can actually do anything with most of these things that we're picking up here. Just picking them up and putting them down. Through there. Very nice butterflies. Quite nice reflections in the water. Again, the water for me, and again, I'm going to say this again so everybody knows, this is a beta. It is well, it's not a beta even, it's a demo. So things like this, you know, will possibly get worked on throughout. The only thing I would say is the water it's lost a bit of realism for me. That being said, it doesn't take away from the game too much.
Have you ever found yourself feeling like you're being watched? I swear it on my life, as I was fishing right here on this lake, there was something watching me. I grabbed my binoculars to take a look, but I saw nothing. It felt like something was staring right at me. I know bears roam these parts, but this was not a bear. Whatever it was, I got the sense it did not want me here.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, cheers. Stella Artois. Didn't get much there. Suntan oil. Everybody needs that. Yeah, it doesn't seem like you can actually do anything with these objects apart from just pick them up and spin them around, which might work well in the full game if they've actually got things like, I've seen a lot of kind of survival games have things like codes and messages on the back of things once you turn them around, but on these it appears literally just for the sake of it, basically. Oh. Hey. Picked up cabin key. Okay. We can now get in the cabin. Does not look like there's anything else here anyway. Yeah, Peggy, I think you're right. So if I go back over here now, and so the waterfall, you can kind of hear it. As you get closer, you can, which works well, but the panning of moving left and right, it actually worked quite well in that part then, but it seems to be when you're moving away from it, the audio kind of cuts out way too quick. And I think even being here, with the waterfall over there, I think I'd still definitely be able to hear it. Again, these are small things that can be just tweaked. And I will stress again that this it's just a demo. And the reason that we do these streams is so that we can actually pass over feedback like this to the developers so that they can get things better for when they actually do a general release. So, okay.
The place feels so empty without William, but it's held up well over the years. Seems like a blink of the eye since we were last here together.
Nice baked lighting. Again, can't do anything with. There seems to be a lot of these objects that you can pick up, you can spin around, but you can't really do anything else with them. Unless I'm completely missing something here, but I've tried pressing all of the buttons around it and nothing actually happens when you do it. Nice. Yeah, it's the same with these. I mean, the models are great. The navigator of the models is great too. What happened there? Well, I managed to knock those scissors on the floor. Yep. So right now I would say there's a disconnect between what you can actually pick up as an inventory item versus what you can actually just kind of spin around, just take a look at what it is. And that is a bit of a disconnect, and it could make people, as they progress through the game, it could make people not really focus on picking objects up that they actually do need, because it might just be another item that they need to spin around. So I would definitely reconsider how many of these objects you've got that are interactable that you can't actually do anything with. As I'm seeing quite a lot of ones that you can. I mean, that's quite cool. The effect of that is quite cool with the transparency, etc. But I guess that's all it is. It's just a cool kind of feature. I'm not going to pick these up.
Look at this garbage. They were laughing at me. Told me to go back to the cabin and stay out of the sun for a bit. This town has had too many disappearances over the years. The police couldn't even find my son. It isn't safe out here. They need to be warning the people not to come into these woods until the disappearance.
We have yet to receive comment from Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster.
And no one will do a dang thing about it. Such a shame.
Voiceovers are quite nice. Do appreciate a good voiceover. There seems to be a few objects there. I'm gonna give them a miss for now, unless I can't do anything. I need to go back.
You ever see something and just get a real sense you shouldn't be where you are? That bottle you're looking at is what started this whole mess. Turns out mine wasn't the only cabin out here anymore. Next to that cabin was a cage, but it wasn't empty, and it weren't no bear. It had fur.
Yeah, Peggy, camping is great. We do try to go camping as often as we can, although, and if any of my friends are watching this, they'll be complaining about me saying this, but we haven't actually been for quite a few years now, which is ridiculous considering how much we actually enjoy it when we all go. We take the kids with us on some of them as well, but a lot of the time we like to go with just our friends and have a couple of beers and camp out in the woods. Have a really good time, actually. sure. Missing something here. Hot dog buns. Nice. Seems to be anything else here yet. Let's check that. Is there anything out of here? Be able to do anything. Please speak out if you see that I'm doing something here that you shouldn't be doing. Ah, okay, there we go. Dodgy that to grab. The hit detector of these objects should just be a little bit vaster than the actual object as well, I feel. Unless there's unless people get used to that different kind of sensitivity, but that just pumping it up and down for me then was quite difficult to focus on the actual object. Ooh. He did.
Turns out that machete weren't much use, was it? Sorry you had to see this, but you can't see the whole puzzle unless you got yourself all the pieces. This is where my story ends, but yours carries on. I was never able to find my son, but I know he's out there somewhere. He would have followed the path up the hill. There's a clearing just on the other side. Follow the river till it ends. That should get you there. Though I would dearly love to follow, I can go no further than this, as my spirit is stuck here in this cabin amongst the trees. Go now. There are more stories to be told.
Hey.
More secrets waiting to be discovered. Succeed where I failed. Maybe then we can finally rest peacefully.
Right, let's take a look. I think personally it's missing a run button as well. I mean, I might be missing something here. I can't seem to run at all, but that could be quite nice to have in. Oh, what's going on?
I came here looking for my son.
There are no animals here, but there are bones.
Something's out there, watching me. Why won't anyone listen?
I think that might be end of demo.
It doesn't make any sense.
Why was I so stupid to trust them?
The bones were everywhere, like the body was torn apart.
I just wanted to find my son.
Okay. That looks like end of demo. We hope that you... Oh. I went off too quick for me there. Right. So, quite a short demo. The takeaways from this, I guess, would be I feel the audio, particularly the spatial audio, needs a little bit of work for as you're moving away from things like the waterfall, the distance before you start losing the sounds of that was too short, I feel. Especially where it's quiet everywhere else and all you can hear are kind of like the birds and the animals in the trees. You should definitely be able to hear more of that waterfall in the background. Even if it's just a very small bit of ambience, you still would be able to hear it. The objects that were littered around the actual scenes were very many, but there was only a couple that seemed to actually do anything. I think there were 2 or 3 there that started to tell, or maybe 4 that started to tell a bit more of the story, which is great. Those things do exist in a game like this. However, I think the sheer amount of the objects that were in the scene just for the sake of being in the scene were too many, and they took me away from wanting to actually select those objects and take a look at what they were. So if you're looking to tell a story and you're looking for people to pick up the objects they need in order to get the full story, then I would suggest either making it so that all of the objects actually, the ones that you can interact with, do something, or to streamline it even more, just take out as many objects as you can, only highlight the ones that actually need to be able to tell a story. I just felt like it was detracting away from it a little bit, so I would definitely say to take a look into that. The graphics were quite nice. The voiceovers were great. They were on point. The water, the water effects that you've got on there, the kind of, I'm not sure if you've done this in Unreal or you've done it in Unity, but the shader effects of the water itself, I have seen much better water in several other indie games that certainly take into account things like I forget what the word is, the noise when it's surrounding the rocks and it's moving around the rocks, whatever that word is. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the stream. But the noise that when the water hits the rocks and it moves around, that adds a little bit of extra realism to a game for me, and I feel that it was just missing a little bit of that. Scenery was great. The scenery that was in the actual game, the campsite, etc., looked beautiful. It was really nice. The butterflies that were just randomly kind of flying around, very, very nice. That I was very appreciative of that. Game was pretty short, but it's a narrative kind of game, and you don't want to give too much away, so I understand that. But yeah, overall, nice little game. Hopefully you'll take into account what I've said, and in a future version maybe there'll be a little bit more to see and do, and hopefully some of those issues may have been looked at. But yeah, let's close off this one. Okay, so what are we going to play next? I think what we can play next is, let's have a look at Curve Space. Now, Curve Space, this actually looks really nice. Now, as I say, the developer actually reached out to me on Twitter and sent me a code for Steam for the full game. The graphics look really nice. It's kind of got like a Geometry Wars feel about all the lighting, etc. in there. And if you've watched any of the previous streams, you'll know that I do appreciate some good lighting in the games, especially with things like this, where space, etc. is concerned. So one thing that I can say is that I did actually try to load this game up earlier on when I was just testing that these games actually loaded in the first place. And one thing that I noticed about Curve Space is that when I transitioned it over to my second screen, what actually happened was as soon as I started the game, the player just continuously span around really, really fast. So, and I wasn't able to control with the keyboard, mouse, or the controller because it was just spinning and spinning. So I'm not sure what went on there. However, I figured something out, that if I moved it onto my main screen, and played it there, it works absolutely fine. So I'm not sure if there's some kind of settings that need to be changed there from the running of the game side. But yeah, that was a weird little bug I found. I'd be happy to record some kind of a video and show you that on Twitter if you like. If the developer wants to reach out to me, I can send that across. But let's jump into the game, shall we? Let's have a look. I think we'll go full screen. Curved space. I think we'll go campaign. We'll start new. Start. Actually feels very complete, this game, anyway. Well, I mean, it is. It's a full version. We used to harvest energy. Cheers. Now we harvest spiders. Oh, actually, this is the problem I was having before, and it's actually happening here now as well. Okay, sec. Let's see if switching it back to this monitor now will help. Nope. Okay. That's very strange. No, Peggy, it's happening on the main screen now as well. Let's try that. Well, that kind of kicked it into play. All right, that'll work. Let's have a look. Use R to shoot. The gravity takes it down here. That's nice. Follow the curve. Oh, okay. Which way am I going? Okay, let's have a look. Press B for flamethrower. The movement is very fluid. The background scenery is really nice, actually. Although, okay, 2 of them, right? Let's have a look. Where am I going? Oh, nice fire effect. Pick up supercharged laser. Need to get this laser. Where is the laser gone? Swap over here. Let's try and get him. Okay. Nice little rebound effect going on. It's kind of a little bit unnervy the way that it flips between the scenes there. Fire fully charged laser, hold RT to charge. Something faster. Yep. What have you got for me? Press Y to change weapons. Okay. Alright. Practice is over. Let's do this for real. All right, you got me. Let's do it. Take that, spiders. Whoa. Okay, things are heating up here now. Down this way. Oh, let's take you out. Lots of different types of spiders. That's cool. Whoa. Okay, shotgun. Shotgun's not very powerful. Some nice effects going on here. The lighting's really nice. Okay, survive. I shall try. Oh, health. What's this? The spider models are actually quite cool. This weapon looks a bit... Particle effects look a bit strange, but that's what the weapon is. Okay, a lot of stats at the end, that's nice. I imagine you're going to kind of aim to do some championship levels for 100% completion, etc. on that. That's quite nice. Let's continue. Scenes are quite cool in between. Oh, okay. Different style levels, nice. Oh, makes me feel quite sick, that actually. Oh, I'm glad this isn't on VR. Now unleash it. How do I unleash overdrive? Hey. Destroy target. Okay. Gotta find some first. I like the gravity of the weapons that go over the planet thing here. You can follow them around. If you see that, it follows the gravity of the level around. So actually, even though it's not VR, I am playing on a I'm playing on a 55-inch screen here. I'm quite close to it, and it is actually making me feel a little bit sick. I don't do well on VR, so that's my fault. It's not the fault of the actual game, it's the fault of me, really. I don't do VR very well. I do start feeling sick after a while with VR. But it kind of has that feel. It kind of flips you up and around. I don't think it's the frame rate. I think the frame rate is fine. this weapon. Oh. Very slow to fire weapon. All right. You are no match for me, spiders. Yeah, I do actually find this quite hard to stay on track of where I am and where everything is. You know, and I think that's going to be down to just skill level. I need to play it a little bit more to get a feel for it, but because of the gravity, the way that it takes the actual bullets, the projectiles that you're firing, it seems pretty strange. These centipedes, they seem to be jumping all over the place. I'm not. I don't think that's right. I think they're just kind of glitching out a little bit there. Okay. Let's take a look at the next level. Since I'm full screen on here, I can't actually see any comments, so let's just take a look at... Yep. Yeah, it is cool, Peggy. Lashing. We lash to harvest spider energy. Wait, it's a lash. Okay. Let's lash 2 targets, okay? Lash until the siphon's power bar is full. Okay, missing them here. Let's go. That's it, got you. All right. Harvest spiders. Oh. Destroy through. Oh, get away from me. There's one. Where's the rest? Oh, going upside down in these parts doesn't half make me a bit dizzy. Whoa, whoa! The text seems to overlay itself as well on these levels. I'm not sure if you noticed that. It's a nice, powerful weapon. I think I need some health here. Whoa, get away from me. Okay, I think this is going to have to be my last level on this game because I actually am starting to feel pretty sick. Seem to shoot anything here. We seem to have this. Oh, let me see if I can get this weapon. Nice. All right. So I think I'm going to exit from this game a second. So the game itself felt really nice and swift. Felt really smooth when I was playing it. So I don't think it was the frame rate that was playing with my mind there. I think when I play VR sometimes, it actually does it does start to make me feel sick pretty quickly, I would say. But that's generally down to the frame rate because the frame rate's pretty low on VR. But this one, it was just the fact that it was spinning around and it was going upside down. that was making me feel that was kind of making me feel really kind of dizzy and nauseous. Jumit, hi, welcome to the stream again. Love the flying particles after. Yeah, they were really nice. So you're better at this game. Well, I may have been a little bit better at that game, but it actually made me feel sick playing it. So I need a couple of seconds to get over that one, I think. Jumit, that you think that's your fault? Yeah, it is. It's totally your fault. Peggy, it's easier to shoot at something. Yeah, well, it is. It is easier to shoot at something than stay stable on a platform. And just if any of you guys are watching the stream and you're wondering what we're talking about with Jumit, we played his game Rolling Adventure last week. We had a lot of fun on that. So if you want a couple of laughs and see somebody mess up a million times trying to complete certain levels in the game, go ahead, take a look at the replay of that. It's on my channel. Yeah, you should add some shootable things, Jimmy, you're right. Okay, so apologies to Only by Midnight for not being able to play that, play any more levels of that, but it's the going upside down and the turning around and the way the world is, it was just making me really dizzy now. I'm not sure if it's because I was playing on the 55-inch screen in front of me, and I'm really not that far. I'm a couple of inches away from it. So that like kind of experience is quite a lot to take in when you're going upside down and stuff. So it could have been that. And yeah, Jimmy, I've upgraded to beer based on last week's stream. Cheers. So I think the last game that we've got to play on the stream today, and I wanted to save this one till the end because it looks like a really fun game to play. So join Chemo and Wispy, or Kimo, I don't know what that is, and Wispy on their adventure in search of the missing shattered light, Lucentia. Fight or control enemies and turn them into your advantage. Explore hidden secret areas, solve puzzles, and gain new abilities, all in the vast and beautiful world of Lumina. Does look really nice, this one. There is a demo available on Steam, so if you like it, go ahead, download the demo, take a look at it. And the same as always, if you do appreciate the games that I'm playing on stream today, they are from all indie developers, so it's recommended. I recommend it every single week that you go and give them some encouragement, follow them on Twitter, subscribe to their YouTube channels. Just in general, just go say hi to them, say that you've seen it being played, you're looking forward to it coming out. Just give them that little bit of encouragement. And also, with the people that we have on stream right now, if you're watching the stream and you are not subscribed to myself, then please do just go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified of my upcoming streams. I do these every week. There's 3 games I play on this certain stream every single week. I've got another series that I'm thinking about doing. I've got a poll out on Twitter at the moment to see if it's worth doing, where I take one game and I give it a more in-depth full review. So I'm thinking about doing that. I'm just waiting to get a bit more feedback on if that's something that is beneficial to a lot of people. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, let's jump into this Faerie Afterlight. Just switch screens on this. For some reason these games just do not like to be played and switched around on the streams. All right, there we go. So I did jump into this a little bit earlier on just to see if it loaded. The graphics look really nice on this. Peggy trying to stay away from the fridge. Well, can't stay away from the fridge tonight. Cheers, Jimmy. Peggy says the only thing is maybe in the training area include a centipede or two. Yeah, I don't think it was the training that was. Maybe it was. Maybe it didn't onboard you quick enough, but it was for me. It was just the dizziness. I mean, I wanted to play. The game looked great. The game played great. The lighting effects, the particles, etc. They were all really nice, but I just couldn't play it. So let's take a look. And let's give this a play. Let's go full screen. So that was RB. That just... Okay, so straight off the bat, first thing I noticed here, hold A to jump higher. This is the floaty, the floaty jump again. I think I've spoken about this a couple of times before with the gravity of a player. I mean, it might work in this game because it might be intended to be floaty like that. It just seems a bit floaty, but let's give it a play and see what happens. Nice wall jump in there. Quite a cute character, actually. I do. He's got this little fairy following him. One thing that I'm noticing there is the kickback from hitting an enemy seems a bit too harsh, and it kind of knocks you back quite a bit. Move Wispy with R to collect. So I'm not sure how far into the development this game is. The graphics, they look... The foreground graphics look really nice. The background graphics, they are nice. But there are things like, see these three dots here that appear to be kind of background. When you move here, the parallax effect is moving this with it, so that says that this here is in line with the foreground. So that shouldn't really be moving with the rest of the scene, so it kind of doesn't feel natural. Nice. First secret. So nice that you can just kind of hold onto the walls there. Hold R for Wispy to interact. What's he interacting with? What's down there? I know with these kinds of games, there's always little secrets hidden around. The character actually feels really fluid, feels really nice. The art style is actually it's really nice. It's really pretty. And there are some nice moving things in the background. Some of it just feels a little bit disjointed. Can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe I will by the end of the stream. Oh. Ah. The character does feel really nice to start jumping around the world, though. Nice. point. Yeah, so the actual platforming of the game feels pretty solid. So I need to get them. Okay. Okay. Guessing I can control with Wispy. Nice. That's a nice little touch. Hello there. Welcome. I have all the things you're searching. Do you have another Stella? Let's see. Oh, is what I'd like to say, but come back later. Okay, so you don't have a Stella. Waiting for my money with no goods to sell. The equivalent of taking a towel and putting it on a sun lounger before you actually go to sunbathe. Taking a spot here and he hasn't even got any goods to sell. Cheeky. Okay. Try and get you up here. Come on, mister. Oh. You want? Whoa! Hey. Oh, I don't have energy, that's why. Okay. Where am I going to get this energy from? Talk to me when rich. Got nothing to sell, but I'm only allowed to talk to you when I'm rich. All right, I get it. I get it. All right. Now, in true Metroidvania style, Metroidvania rather, will the enemy be back there? He is. Come on. There we go. Quite cute. That character, however, did look like he was part of the background, not foreground. Still quite cute, though. Do we have a map? Doesn't seem like we have a map. Maybe it's something we need to pick up. But kind of like a Metroidvania with without a map is a very hard thing to accomplish. Okay. Turns it invisible. Nice little touch. Oh. Okay, cheeky. Okay, there are some nice elements of the platform in here. So some relics. Okay. So we need to find a relic. So is this an enemy as well, or is this background? Yeah, background. Okay. How do I get up there? Can I get up there? Doesn't look like. So, I mean, one thing that I've noticed about this is the graphics, they look very nice and they look very pretty. However, like a traditional kind of Metroidvania game, doesn't really... There's not a lot here. It feels kind of empty. Jackrabbit. I'm sure you mentioned Jackrabbit the other week as well, Peggy. Okay, I don't know where I'm going here now. Okay. Must be somewhere up here. Something down there. Whoa. Cheeky. Okay, see how we get past there. Oh. Difficult. Yep, possibly. No, come on. Okay. Now the enemy's gone, it might make it a bit easier. Nice little touch. Ah. Is this going to be another one of those nights? Nice. I guess this is what I need to get in through the door. Through the gate, rather. How's my memory? Am I going the right way? I think so. Oh, looks like I need another one. Can't get up there. As I say, the character feels very nice in this. The world does feel it's missing something. Can't quite put my finger on it. It just seems to be missing something. Ah. Oh, don't think I can get there yet. Hey, why did it take me back there? Again. Okay, let's try going down here. There he is. Whoa! Oh, oh, I kept it. Oh, well, there's a bit of a bug. Little bit of a bug found there. Actually helped me get to the part of this level though, so I'll take that. So again, these characters that were just in the background then, that literally were just background, it kind of takes away from the game a little bit. I mean, I'm trying not to be disappointed in these, because I do love games like this. I'm trying not to be disappointed in what I was expecting from it, but I mean, the game, first things first, the game looks great. You can play it. It's very smooth. It plays really well. But it just kind of feels a bit, like it's got no soul, if that makes any sense. I mean, there's no kind of story to the character, like, you know, how did the character get here? What's the character's mission? What's the relation to this fairy character here? What are these things going on in the background? You know, there's no kind of explanation for it. And when you look at games like similar to this, like Ori, you appreciate the level of detail they've gone into with the actual story and telling the actual story before you get into the game, and it makes you want to proceed through the levels. But this just kind of, it's just kind of a bit soulless. Quite a cool effect. And then, of course, the recommendation there is that, you know, and I don't know whether it's already in the pipeline, but is to add some kind of a story into it and give a bit of a backstory to the characters that makes people actually want to continue playing with them. I think this is the way we've already been, right? Yeah, that's where the gate was. And again, this not having a map to be able to see where you've already been and where you need to go, that's a biggie for me. That's a big loss for the game straight away, I feel. And I think another game that we tried to play last week, but it wouldn't run, the system was maxing out, which was Haiku. Haiku was also the same. That was a game that had had a demo out, but also had no map. And a game like this absolutely needs a map. How do I go? Oh, what was that? Nope. I don't think you do, Peggy. I think the very nature of it being a Metroidvania is, well, I don't know if it is a Metroidvania actually. It just feels like it should actually be one. And I'm guessing that there is no end of level to speak of. It's just a continuous level. and I don't really know where to go. I think I'm going to cut that short here. I think I'd like to want to explore the game a bit more, but the game just doesn't kind of make me want to do that. So I think in not wanting to kind of give it a really harsh piece of criticism or feedback, it's just the platforming part is great, the gameplay is great, the graphics look absolutely great, the fairy has its uses to do certain things when it's following you, that's great, but there's no life to the characters. There's no soul to the game. Like I don't know why I'm playing the game. I don't know why I'm this character. I don't know why I've got the fairy. I don't know why I'm controlling it. I don't know what the end goal is. And I think that's what the game is missing. And I think, yes, when you're building a game, it's nice to get the gameplay up and running so you can have a feel of what it plays like. And like I say, the developers have done a great job of doing that. However, it really does feel lifeless to me. So yeah, I'm gonna cut that short here. Let me just go back. Let's exit off. So I'd like to see that the game will actually get more to it. And just take a look through some of these screenshots to see if the screenshots give any of the game away. Let's take a look. I mean, not really. So there's a little bit of a story there. Yeah, I mean, so I'm not sure how many people watching the stream have played Ori in the Blind Forest, which is one of the best, more recent Metroidvania games, along with Hollow Knight. Now, Hollow Knight didn't really have a crazy backstory to start the game with either. Well, that was a very, very solid Metroidvania. It had all of the things a Metroidvania needs. It had all these collectibles. It had all of these different abilities in order to be able to get to the next levels, and that's what a Metroidvania is about. Metroidvania is built around the premise that as soon as you start the game, there are areas that you are unable to reach, because you need to proceed through the game to be able to obtain these extra abilities that you can then use to go through the levels, find all of the secrets, etc. Meet some very interesting characters on the way, like you do with Ori and Hollow Knight. But with Faerie Afterlight, I just didn't get that. Now, it may be because the game is still in its infancy, that there's still a lot to be done on it, that there's, that can be turned around. And I don't want to be too negative with the criticism, because it's not that at all. The game felt great to play, and the game looked great to play. It's just for me, it didn't feel like it was moving to anything, so it didn't make me want to continue playing it. So yeah, I'm gonna stop harping on about that right now. Again, I'm sure there's people on there that will really appreciate how the game moved along. So if you do like what you're seeing, again, just please go and give the developers some encouragement. Tell them that you've watched it on the stream and that you think it looks great, etc. And maybe if they haven't tuned in to watch the stream, just let them know that there is some feedback waiting for them here. So the three games that we played today, we had the Fabled Woods, which was a short demo. But it was a nice little introduction into what could come next. So I'm looking forward to seeing what could happen there. So that was the Fabled Woods. The second one was Curved Space, which the graphic style was great. The gameplay was very smooth. The particles and the lighting, all of that stuff in the gameplay was really, really nice. Lots of different types of enemies, pickups, collectibles, power-ups. That was really nice. The only thing that affected my mind there was the twisting around of the platforms of the whole scenery that made me feel a little bit queasy. And then Faerie Afterlight, which I had high hopes for, actually, because I really love Metroidvania style games. But as we've just spoke about with that one, there wasn't much in the way of encouragement to push me to actually play any more of that game. But I hope that gets changed, because it's a beautiful looking game, and it's something that I want to get into and actually I do. It's conflicting, because the game looks great, it plays great, so it does feel nice to play, but because of the backstory, I want to play it, I don't want to play it, so that's where I'm at with that. So I think the last thing that I want to do on the stream right now is, this week there's been quite a few games on Steam that I've noticed in my feed. Now, I try my best to go through my Twitter feed as much as I can and look through my followers' tweets and see what they're up to, try and follow what games they're actually working on. And, I try to retweet as many indie games as I can that I take an interest in. One of those was, we were supposed to be playing it on the stream last week, which was Haiku. I actually got to play Haiku off stream, because if anybody remembers last week when I played it on stream, it was killing my GPU. I've got a 2080 Ti, so there's a problem with the game itself, and I have spoken to the developer, and he has said that it is something that he's looking into getting fixed, and then when that's done, I can have another copy of the demo where I can actually play. And the developer is Jordan from Mr. Morris Games. I have linked his profile in the description below. You might have seen me posting quite a few tweets over the last week since I played it last week. So I played it off stream, and I actually really enjoyed what I was playing. The game looks absolutely great. It's classic Metroidvania. Again, no map, needs a map. You're watching this, Jordan? You need a map. But I tried to promote it as much as I could for him because it was on Kickstarter and he wanted to get it funded. And I think the funding goal was 22k, £22,000. That has now been hit. It got to the point where I really wanted the game to be funded, and I did actually state that if it didn't get to the funding by the end of the period, that I would actually put the money in and fund it myself. So I'm just glad that everybody went in and actually funded it, so I didn't have to do that. So the game's now 100% funded, 22,000. So it now gives Jordan the flexibility to actually go into the game full time and develop it, which is fantastic. Now, the next stretch goal for that is 25,000, and I think the last time I checked, which was earlier on today, it was around 30% of that stretch goal as well. And if he hits 25,000, that's actually going to go to produce the Nintendo Switch port as well. And it's the kind of game that would work perfectly well on Nintendo Switch, and I'm looking forward to actually getting that on Nintendo Switch to play. So let's take a look. We have Haiku the Robot is a 2D action-adventure platformer heavily focused on exploration set in a post-apocalyptic world of robots and machinery. You can wishlist it. I believe I have. Yes, just because I'm not logged into Steam, I have wishlisted it. The developer he seems a really cool guy. He's very active on Twitter. So go give him a shout. Tell him that you've had a look at the game and it's something that you're interested in. I have linked the Kickstarter in the description below as well. So I suppose we could actually go take a look at that right now. Let's have a look, see where he's at. Okay, so he's at £22,909 right now. He's trying to get to 25k. So if you are watching the stream, and go take a look at the Kickstarter page, again, link in the description below. Just take a look, watch the video, play the demo, have a little go of it and see what you think. And if it's something that you really want to see get funded, then jump onto Kickstarter and just you can back it for as little as £10. Without a reward. You can pledge £12 and you actually get a copy of the game. And there's loads more things that you can actually pledge to get more kind of rewards as well. But the main thing is that we're going to get a game at the end of it that is actually a really nice game to play. So yeah, I would say definitely recommend doing that. And I want to do these indie spotlights for games every week if I can, just for a couple that I've noticed. So Haiku, go take a look. If you've got the funds, I mean, I understand that a lot of people haven't got any funds spare to actually help fund games like this. But if you do have, and you do have the ability, then go ahead, show a bit of support, because games like this, they cannot be released unless there is a certain amount of funding. If you consider that Jordan's actually been very open and honest about what the funding's actually going towards, and if we take a look. I think there's a little pie chart somewhere down here that shows where the funds are actually going to go to. Let's see if we can find that. There we go. So development plus living is 50%. Kickstarter takes 10%. Taxes are 18%. And then the rewards for people actually pledging there come up to 22% of the actual amount as well. So only 50%. So let's try and put that into numbers. At £11,000 is going to the development of the game. Let's call it like Jordan does here. It's living costs and development costs, right? So it's 11,000 over. I think somewhere here he says over the period of the next 12 months. So that's less than £1,000 per month where he's going to be working on this game full time. So yes, he's getting the chance to fulfill his dream and build the game of his dreams and get it released and get out there, but he's going to be doing it on a very, very, very tight budget, and it must be so hard to remain focused when you know that you're clutching onto every penny that you've got throughout every single month you're in development of the game. And there's going to be other things that pop up. There's going to be, maybe some assets or, maybe some external work that needs to get done. So having like 50% of the funds there is not a lot of money at all when you consider that it's going to take another 12 months to actually have this thing developed. So again, if you do have any spare funds, go ahead, put a bit of a pledge on the game, because developers like this do actually need that to happen. Okay, so the next one that I wanted to highlight was it's a game called Horror Globes. Now, I spoke to the developer because I saw this posted on Twitter this afternoon, and I asked if there was a demo available. The developer responded and said that these are going to be, this is the first of lots of short horror stories. So they didn't feel it was right to actually create a demo of this because they are short stories, which is absolutely fine. But it looks pretty cool. It looks freaky, and it looks like it's coming up to Halloween. So this is when they're actually coming to get the release. They're looking to get it released for the 23rd of October, which is just some kind of a Halloween game for everybody to play. So definitely go ahead, check that out, add that to your wish list, because it does look like a fun game. And then the last one that I wanted to talk about was actually a game that we played last week that I had a lot of fun playing, which was Rolling Adventure. So this week, Jumit Games, and he's on the stream. I'm not sure if he's still on the stream. He was on the stream earlier on. He's on the stream last week. We spoke about getting some testers for the game to help test the game and get it to the point where lots of things are considered ready for release. Since then, they have put out on Twitter that they wanted testers for the game, and they were providing Steam keys for that. I seen it had the tweet itself got a lot of exposure from let's call them bots, amongst other things. So one thing that's very important when you're handing out keys, demo keys for Steam, is that you're handing them out to the right people that can actually give you honest feedback and actually want to give you the feedback to help you produce a better game in the long run. So you have to, unfortunately, you have to weed out the people who are just trying to obtain a free key for a game, you know, and there's lots of those. I believe Peggy was one of those people that was very interested in obtaining a key and giving some feedback on it. And from what I read on Twitter, it looks like she actually did get a key. So Jimmy, well done for that, if that did happen. But yeah, if you're watching the stream and you want to help indie developers but you don't know how, then as we've already spoken about Haiku the Robot, you can pledge a small amount of money to them to help them build the game. You can go and wishlist games. You can wishlist Horror Globes that we just spoke about, but with Roll and Adventure you can wishlist. But you can also, if you just give some encouragement to the guys on Twitter, Jumit Games, just let them know that, you know, you'd be interested in testing the game on a basis that you'll actually give constructive feedback at the end of it. That would work really well for Jumit, because I want to see this game succeed, because it was a real fun game. And again, if you haven't watched the stream, after this, go ahead, watch it back. It was last week's stream, Rolling Adventure. It was I had a lot of fun playing it. I had a lot of fun playing that, more fun than I had tonight actually playing the games that I was playing, unfortunately. But again, go ahead, check that out. And yeah, like I say, these games, they won't exist in any sense. They won't exist on any store if people don't support them. And support can be one of many ways. It can be financial, like we've just spoke about with pledging on Kickstarter. It can be simple empathy. It can be sharing the tweets that they put out, you know, retweeting the tweets that they put out, liking their tweets, you know, liking their YouTube channels, anything like this, just to give them that little bit more encouragement to continue building out these games. So I think that's enough of me rabbiting on for another week. We can call that a day on this one, I think. I'm looking to, there's several games that I've got. I think I've got all three planned for next week, but I'll post about that tomorrow, maybe the next day, of which games are going to be on next week's stream. And it actually looks to be a really good week. Meanwhile, I'll, you know, continue doing what I'm doing on Twitter, trying to raise more awareness for all of these indie games. This is what we do it for. We do it to help indie developers. I've said this many times before, but the AAA studios, they almost have everything handed to them on a plate. I mean, you can quite simply go ahead and look at something like look at Steam here, and we can go to the store homepage. And I haven't looked at this beforehand, by the way. You can scroll down and you can see the pure amount of AAA games that have, like, you can see a lot of indie games as well, but the main ones that get highlighted on here are more AAA games than anything else, which is fine. You know, Steam needs to sell games, but on doing so, it limits how much an indie developer actually gets noticed on a platform like Steam. So anything that you can do to just wish list those games, raise them up higher on the rankings, that all goes down really well. So the last thing I want to mention is what I mentioned earlier on in the stream, is that I'm looking to start another weekly stream where it's just, I take one game and I give it a complete kind of feedback from a certain portion of the game that I play. And I just wanted to gauge if people would actually be interested in seeing that happen, basically. So I would take the game, I'd play it probably offline, and then I would on the stream, I would have a list of points, etc., all ready to go, and I would try and demonstrate those points by playing the game through again and just highlighting where those areas of interest are. If people are actually interested in seeing something like this, or if you're interested in that actually being your game, and again, if people are interested in me reviewing and feedbacking on their game in one of these weekly streams, hop over onto my Twitter, or my email is actually linked in the description as well. And just, if it's a full game, send me a redeem code. DM me with information about the game if you need to, and we can do most platforms. I say me. I do iOS, Android, itch.io, Steam, Xbox, PlayStation 4.